There's no shortage of computer scams out there, fake calls that you get, or data breaches that you hear about that you may be involved in. But are scams and fraud something that we need insurance for? Christopher Cook with Alliance Insurance Services is with us to talk about it. All right, so cyber liability, you hear that like for like big companies and stuff, but does that mean that the everyday person needs it?
The everyday person and the small business too. It's not just your large Fortune 500 companies that are being affected by this computer crime, if you will.
All right, so what are we talking about? How does this work?
Yeah, most homeowners carriers in our state have started offering a computer crime or a cyber endorsement onto your home policy that would protect you from fraud in your bank account or fraud in your credit card statements, even someone taking out a loan. Usually that's a mortgage, but a loan in your name fraudulently and ruining your credit. There's protection out there. It has to be added and has to be purchased, but there's protection out there to protect the consumer from that.
What about if, like, what's going around now where they call and they say that they're part of, like the sheriff's office or whatever, and you need to give them money? What about if you lose money that way?
Definitely, that's called third party or phishing coverages. The way we are, or social engineering, sometimes we'll hear it referred to, but those are coverages that are offered via that endorsement that I'm talking about on your homeowner's policy. The best step is to learn how to prevent those types of things from happening to you and being careful and things like that. But the scammers seem to get better every day, maybe even every minute. I would encourage folks to have protection for that. Heaven forbid that happens to you.
All right, well, let's take a look at what the cost would be like for the everyday person and then how much coverage we're talking about.
Sure, I don't have that screen pulled up. I'm sorry.
It's about
Tanya,
like 85 to 100 and then $50,000 in coverage. So with that said, my thought is if you make a claim like that, then what happens with your insurance?
I mean, that's not going to cause you to be declined, but a $50,000 loss could be catastrophic to most of our viewers. $50,000 is gone from their bank account or their savings account. That could be catastrophic for most people in our area. So it's certainly would be worth having the claim. God forbid it happened to you. And for $85 a year, the coverage is reasonable, in my opinion.
Okay, and so when it comes to someone who has a small business, so you're recommending that maybe this is going to be a standard for them as well?
Yeah, and very similarly, the commercial insurance carriers that are active in our state are starting to add this to what we call in my business a BOP policy, a business owner's policy. BOP is just an abbreviation, but that's becoming more and more commonplace as a throw-in, as an added endorsement, a bell and whistle. And then there's a lot of our customers at Alliance Insurance that are buying standalone cyber liability policies with limits upward of $1 million. Usually on the throw-in policies, the limits are 50,000 or 100,000 like we just looked at, but consumers can get coverage well above that limit if that's what they need.
Okay, fraud certainly unexpected, right? But so much of what we have insurance for is for the unexpected. What other kinds of like liabilities do homeowners often need protection for, but maybe they're not clued in for that, or maybe they're not protected enough?
Yeah, something I'm seeing a lot is carriers who are deciding to exclude any liability claim for dog bites. They call out dogs, not other pets, but dog liability claims have been on the rise. They're quite expensive to insurance carriers. So if consumers aren't reading their policy, which let's face it, most of us aren't reading every word of our policy, you may have a dog exclusion in your policy that you're unaware of. I would encourage folks to check into that. Pools and trampolines are, I guess, attractive nuisances, the insurance space likes to call them. Those create a lot of liability. Some insurance carriers actually exclude liability for those things as well. So if you have a pool, if you have a trampoline, you want to make sure that your agent knows and that it's covered. And then social media, slander, libel. I'm so frustrated with social media, I think, as a lot of us are, but you, or more likely your teenager, possibly actually adults do this too. You go online and you say something about someone that's slander or libel, Your homeowner's policy, the basic form, does not cover you for that. The enhanced form does in our state, but you're out there saying something you shouldn't be saying. You could get sued for that, and you do not have protection for that if you don't have the proper homeowner's policy.
Interesting. And that is definitely for the climate that we're living in this week for sure. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, your expertise. If you want to send this to a friend, maybe you want to watch this again, it's going to be in the 2 Wants to Know section of our website. Right now, we're going to take a look at the forecast.